What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. It's January 27th, getting towards the end of the month, which is crazy already. We're already pretty deep into 2019. Weather has not been bad here. It's actually been pretty nice outside of a couple days that it really blew. And it was raining a lot. Only, maybe 4 or so inches of snow in town here in Ketchikan, if that. Most of the temperatures have been in the 40s, dropping over midnight lows to the 30s, and then the days that it was in the 20s or so, there wasn't any snow on the ground, so it dried out. So driving's been pretty good so far, but the last 2 years have been real bad, starting in late February. And then March has been really snow-filled the last 2 years. So you start to get the impression that winter is starting to, it's starting to turn a little bit, getting close to February. So start to get a little bit excited for the spring stuff that's coming up. But we know the last 2 years that things have been a little rough. So this is why I'm looking forward to two things a lot right now. First of all is black bear hunting. I got a moose hunt that's archery only up in the Anchorage area in August, and so because it's bow only, I've taken one deer with my bow, and I got a new bow, and so I want to take a big game animal before I go up there for the moose hunt, because there's going to be 3 of us up there, and we're going to take my buddy's boat, jet boat, up this river, and then up a tributary, and then a tributary of the tributary. So he's got a good plan for us. But if you're dealing with a massive moose, shot placement is really important, especially because it's an area that has brown bears, and the brown bears you can just take 2 per year. You don't even have to have a tag. It's not like one of those places where you can get one brown bear every 4 years. The population being what it is, you can just get 2 without even a tag. So pretty crazy. So I'm not actually. I don't know if that means that there's a ton of them around, and they're just trying to get rid of them. But I know there should be plenty around because there's going to be fish around there. So I'm sure it's going to be a really good habitat for them. So with that in mind, I don't want to be making a poor shot on moose, and so we're tracking some wounded thing, and there's always the potential of brown bear, but that's always a fear. But you've listened to a lot of podcasts and people who are out there the most, guys like Tyler Friel. They talk that they spend so much time outside, and they talk about the vast majority of attacks when it comes to brown bear are people who are returning to the kill the day afterwards. So in that time, the bear has moved in and claimed the kill. The occurrence of the first kill and the hunter getting to the kill and the bear running people off is extremely rare. And even bear attacks are rare, but it's usually the day after. So if you shoot the thing and you have to wait for the next day to find it or track it, or you don't get all the butchering done, and then you come back for it, and that's when it's been claimed, and that's when you end up getting into issues. So I've been putting a lot of arrows in the new bow, which has been great. I think I shot probably close to 200 this weekend alone, just trying to get as good as possible. And then because it's not just about me and the moose, it's about the guys that I could potentially be putting in danger, anytime that you're going, that's why I like being the worst person that I hunt with, because I know what I'm capable of. And I don't want to put other people in a situation where because I'm a novice, or because I don't know what I'm doing, or because I make a bad decision, I'm putting other people at risk. So I want to be confident in my abilities, and I am confident in my abilities, and I'm excited to go up there and do that. But there's more things to think about than just me getting a nice moose. I got 2 other guys with me, and I got to make sure that I put a responsible shot on the moose if I get a chance. So that'll be awesome. I'm really excited for that. And because of that, this spring I want to get a black bear. There's a couple of spots that I've been kind of looking at, and I'm not looking for anything really big. I just want to make sure that it's a boar and it's obviously not a little cub. But I've been looking at a couple spots, and it'd be nice to get a nice, good-sized bear. The more time that you have out in the field, and the more you are, getting used to stalking animals with a bow. And I don't want to use a bait. I just want to do a spot and stalk in the spring when they start emerging from the woods, and do that beach program where the grassy shoots, those first grassy areas that emerge from the winter. That's where they're going to be. And that evening, look at the tidal flats. I'm really excited for that. So black bears in the front of the mind for the experience in itself, but also as preparation for the moose hunt in August. But also, steelhead. It's steelhead season. It's kind of an interesting lull. Some of the rivers around here are getting steelhead and have steelhead. Others, you get a winter run that kind of tapers off in late December, early January, and then it starts back up again with the spring one. So in the lower parts of certain rivers, you're not going to find steelhead. So I'm kind of in a waiting zone right now. The river that I like to fish, it's a short skiff ride. The lower part of the river doesn't have a whole lot going on right now. I've talked to some other buddies that have said the same thing, that you have to kind of get up above a certain area, and then you're going to get kind of the leftover from the fall run. So by the time you hike up there, if you wake up and a 30-minute skiff ride and 2.5-hour hike to get up to this spot, and then you run that entire thing back. So you're looking at 3 hours or so of travel. And so that's 6 total hours. When you only have a couple hours of daylight more than that, it's a pretty stinking long day just to go chase some steelhead for a little bit of time. So
after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plans shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
Really getting excited for the opportunity maybe to camp out there, or starting to get that spring run that starts up some of the rivers. Steelhead fishing can be pretty crowded on some of the rivers come April and May when the weather's really good. I was fishing Naha last year, maybe 2 years ago, and some guys had flown down from Juneau in their own float plane, and there were 5 of them. They were fishing the lower part of Naha, and they were not getting anything. 2 years ago, we had a really late couple snowstorms. And so when I was looking at 3 years ago, I thought, man, by March, April, this is going to be awesome, because 3 years ago, it was a pretty light winter, but all the snow that had happened in January, February. So once we got to March, it was warm and everything was blossoming. So the pictures behind me and these steelhead, there's the bush is starting to blossom. You got shoots, you got flowers, you got all that going on. The water was warmer, the water was up, so you had all these fresh fish that were moving up. But 2 years ago, and I felt bad because my buddy, I said, hey, come on up. He was coming up from California. I said, come up during this week. It's going to be awesome. So he came up, but because the winter was a little bit late, we just weren't finding many fish. Um, Caught one the first day, and I caught one the third day, and then one the last day, I think. And then he caught one the first day, and then those guys that flew down from Juneau hadn't caught any. And it was just, you get used to these certain weeks that are usually pretty good, but it all depends on the weather. If you have a late winter and it's still pretty cold and you're not having much of a thaw and there's still a lot of snow around, that water is going to be low and that water is going to be cold, and that spring run might not happen for a couple weeks later. So like I said, 3 years ago it was nice and it was early and the weather just started busting out in March. It was great, but the last 2 years we've had a ton of snow. Last year we even had snow in April. So it's a weird feeling. You just got this great feeling. The days are getting longer and it's sunny and it's kind of warm right now. It's in the low 40s, mid 40s, but you just start to feel that you're stretching your legs a little bit, starting to get excited for spring. But the last 2 years have been really rough snow wise. So steelhead fishing is somewhat on hold for now. I can't get a little bit more of that daylight, then look for that weekend warrior type thing. Get up there and get some of the upper parts of some of the rivers I like to fish and see what's going on there. But yeah, spring's still ahead, just around the corner for sure. That's gonna be good. But so the third thing I'm kind of doing, I'm looking forward to the bow hunting, looking forward to steelhead, and another piece that goes along with that so naturally is just being in shape for it. And I've been doing a lot more functional exercise type stuff, a lot of kettlebell work and a lot of reverse lunge type stuff, and then time under tension with the muscles, slower movements, time under tension, which is good. Jay Ferrugia, who does the Renegade Radio podcast, really good podcast. If you don't listen to that, you should check that out. But he's a trainer and he's been in fitness for a really long time, like close to 30 years or so, and he's had a lot of stuff in some major magazines. One as a consultant, he puts on events for people. So he was talking a lot about how if you're an athlete or you do a lot of stuff, that full squats and cleans and snatches, things like that, aren't really necessary unless you are if you're Olympic lifting, of course you have to do those. But if you're using those as part of your basic training, then you're putting a lot of extra wear on your knees and shoulders and things like that. So if you're going up mountains, like a lot of us are here back in deer, you want the deer to be, or the knees and the joints to be in as good a shape as possible. So you have to work out, you have to be in shape, but at the same time, you don't want to put extra mileage and potentially risk injury going into that. So I've done a lot of kettlebell stuff, like I said, a lot of front hold type things, or a kettlebell above the head while you do a reverse lunge, just so you're getting your body in some of those just different positions where you have to recruit as many muscles as possible. And I've really found that when I'm hiking, I feel best after exercises such as that. Isolation exercises, don't do quite as much. So I like the front squats because it engages a lot more of the core and the lower back. And then kettlebell exercises, there's a lot of them out there, but a lot of stuff that's got multiple things going on has been good. I want to get in good shape because we all know that walking is good, get some mileage going on, but running doesn't do a whole lot. It gets you in some level of cardiovascular shape, but when you're hiking a mountain, you're not running. You're hiking a mountain. You got the elevation. You got boots on. So if you're strapping on running shoes and you're putting in miles, that's good, but it's a different type of exercise. It's the same thing as I ran cross country in high school to get in shape for basketball, which to a degree did, because if I wasn't running cross country, who knows what I would have been doing. But you are in shape, but it's just a different type of shape. So legs moving forward, legs in a split position is really important. The squat position, when in hunting or hiking, do you have both legs right underneath you? Most of the stuff is stepping forward and whatnot. So except for like maybe putting your pack on, it's like a one squat up. So just looking at a lot of creative exercises to get in the best shape possible for outdoor shape. And so there's a lot of good stuff out there for that. But I know Onnit has some kettlebell workouts that are pretty interesting there. But that's piece number 3, man. You're looking at end of January, so we're getting close here to some really exciting time, at least some really, really optimistic times to be living up here in Alaska. The weather's been good, so you're looking forward to the spring bear hunt, of course. Looking forward to long hikes into steelhead fishing, and then what type of shape you're going to be in when you're out there. So gonna be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to it. I had a podcast planned with a buddy, but that fell through. So I'm doing another solo one here, but I got some other things that hopefully we'll get cracking about some politics, some fishing, some hunting, some other stuff to look forward to, and of course in a couple weeks we're gonna figure out who won what draw and what great adventures some people will be going on, and who it was that drew my goat tag here in the backyard of Ketchikan. That I will not be. I'll tell you right now, I will not be getting that one. That's the only one I put in for. I didn't put in for any of the legendary toke tags or any of those because it costs a good amount of money to get up and do those. So if I did happen to draw it, I'm not sure if I'd be able to go. And I want to be able to go if I'm going to do it. So I'm sticking to some of the great hunts that I know about, and it's still awesome. You can't beat spring bear. You get 2 tags for the year, and then you got 4 deer tags, and if you do some work, you can find, like my buddy found that archery only moose hunt, so that'll be good. And then how to get to some of these spots. Some of these hunts are archery only, but they're really tough to maybe get one because you got a ton of people who are in that area. So you got to figure out ways to get to a spot that's going to be productive. But it's a great time of year. Things are going slipping by pretty quick so far, which is nice. Don't want to wish your life away, but a lot of good stuff to look forward to. So as always, make sure you check out themediocrealaskan.com for content. Follow me at Alaska Lund on Instagram, or the Mediocre Alaskan on Instagram. And ideas for podcasts, let me know. And we'll talk to you next time.